Believers who give much and receive little are often being trained for authority. Not the authority that comes from titles, positions, or public recognition, but the authority that comes from faithfulness in obscurity. The authority that emerges when you've been tested in the place where no one was watching, applauding, or keeping score. The authority that cannot be stripped away because it wasn't given by people in the first place. You know what it feels like to pour yourself out and watch others benefit while you remain empty. You've served faithfully, given generously, loved sacrificially, and somehow, the harvest always seems to land in someone else's field. You've watched people you mentored get promoted past you. You've seen ministries you helped build give credit to everyone except you. You've invested time, resources, and energy into people who disappeared the moment they got what they needed. And the questions have been relentless. Why does God allow this? Why do I keep giving when I'm running on empty? Why does everyone else seem to be blessed for doing less while I'm doing more and getting nothing? Am I being punished? Am I being overlooked? Am I invisible to the God I've been serving? The exhaustion is real. The disappointment cuts deep. And the temptation to stop giving, to protect what little you have left, to finally prioritize yourself the way everyone else seems to prioritize themselves. That temptation feels reasonable, justified, overdue. But what if this imbalance isn't injustice? What if it's preparation? What if God is allowing you to give far more than you receive because He's training you to steward authority that requires a heart completely free from the need for reciprocity, recognition, or reward? Throughout Scripture, God consistently prepared leaders by placing them in seasons where their giving far exceeded their receiving. Not because He was cruel, but because authority in His kingdom doesn't function the way authority functions in the world. Worldly authority is about accumulation. Kingdom authority is about distribution. Worldly authority asks, "What can I get?" Kingdom authority asks, "What can I give?" And the only way to develop that kind of authority is to be trained in environments where giving is costly, receiving is scarce, and faithfulness is the only reward. Joseph gave integrity in Potiphar's house and received false accusation. He gave interpretation in prison and received 2 more years of being forgotten. He gave wisdom to Pharaoh's officials and received nothing but broken promises. For over a decade, everything Joseph gave was taken, twisted, or forgotten. His generosity was met with betrayal. His service was met with ingratitude. His gifts were met with exploitation. But God wasn't ignoring the imbalance. He was using it. Every act of giving without receiving was stripping Joseph of entitlement. Every season of serving without recognition was killing his need for human validation. Every moment of investing in people who forgot him was teaching him that his reward would never come from those he served. It would only come from the one he served for. And when Joseph finally stood before Pharaoh, he wasn't a man asking for credit. He wasn't a man demanding payment. He wasn't a man keeping score. He was a man so free from the need for human approval that he could steward the resources of an entire nation without corruption, pride, or self-interest. The years of giving without receiving had made him fit to hold authority without abusing it. Moses spent 40 years in Pharaoh's palace, receiving everything: education, privilege, access, power, and he was completely unfit to lead. He tried to deliver Israel through violence, arrogance, and self-reliance, and it failed spectacularly. So God sent him to the wilderness, where he spent the next 40 years giving everything and receiving almost nothing. He gave his time to sheep that couldn't thank him. He gave his strength to work that no one noticed. He gave his prime years to a life of obscurity that stripped him of every advantage he once had. No platform, no influence, no recognition, just endless days of showing up, serving, and receiving nothing in return. And that wilderness broke him in the best possible way. It shattered his need to be seen. It destroyed his dependence on human approval. It emptied him of every ounce of self-confidence, so that when God finally called him to lead, Moses had nothing left to offer except obedience. He didn't lead Israel because he was strong. He led them because he had been made weak enough to depend entirely on God. The imbalance wasn't punishment, it was preparation. God was training Moses to steward authority by teaching him to give without the expectation of receiving. And that training produced a leader who could stand before Pharaoh, part the Red Sea, and intercede for a rebellious nation without ever making it about himself. You are in that training right now. Every time you give and receive nothing in return, you're being stripped of the need for reciprocity. Every time you serve and watch others get the credit, you're being freed from the trap of human validation. Every time you pour out and remain empty, you're learning that your source isn't the people you serve, it's the God you serve for. This is brutal, it's lonely, it's exhausting, but it's not wasted. You're not being overlooked, you're being prepared. God is entrusting you with a level of giving that most believers will never experience, because most believers are still too attached to receiving. They'll serve as long as it benefits them. They'll give as long as someone notices. They'll invest as long as there's a return. But you've been pushed past that. You've given when it cost you everything. You've served when no one was watching. You've invested when there was no promise of return. And that kind of faithfulness is rare. It's costly. And it's exactly what God uses to build leaders who can be trusted with authority. Because authority without the discipline of unrewarded giving becomes tyranny. Power without the refining of unrecognized service becomes corruption. Influence without the training of unreciprocated love becomes manipulation. God will not place you in a position of authority until He knows you can handle the weight of serving people who may never thank you, leading people who may never follow, and loving people who may never love you back. The imbalance you're experiencing isn't proof that God doesn't see you. It's proof that He trusts you. He trusts you to keep giving when the world would tell you to stop. He trusts you to keep serving when logic would tell you to quit. He trusts you to keep loving when every human instinct would tell you to protect yourself. And one day, not because you demanded it, but because you've been made ready for it, He will release the authority you've been training for. It won't look like you imagined. It won't come with the fanfare you expected, but it will be real, solid, unshakable. The kind of authority that doesn't need a title because it carries the weight of tested character. The kind of influence that doesn't need a platform because it flows from a life of hidden faithfulness. You will lead, not because you fought for position, but because you were faithful in obscurity. You will have influence, not because you demanded recognition, but because you served without it. You will carry authority, not because you accumulated power, but because you learned to give it away. So don't stop now. Don't let the imbalance convince you that your giving doesn't matter. Don't let the exhaustion tempt you to quit. Don't let the disappointment make you cynical. You're closer to the breakthrough than you realize. The training is almost complete. The preparation is nearly finished. And when the moment comes, when God finally says, "Now," you'll step into authority with clean hands, a pure heart, and a freedom that most leaders never experience. Because you'll know, beyond any doubt, that your reward never came from people. It came from Him. And that makes you dangerous in the best possible way. Dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Dangerous to systems of corruption. Dangerous to every lie that says authority is about taking instead of giving. Keep giving, keep serving, keep loving. The harvest is coming, and it will be worth every seed you planted in silence.